time for my weekly feasting and fasting update. There has been some weight loss, so let's chat about what's been happening this week. And then before I broke my fast, I went and did some skipping and skipped kind of hard out and got myself really puffed and then ate, and then I felt like crap. Hi there, my name is Sue. If you haven't visited my channel before, I've been eating a carnivore diet for 2 years. My 2-year anniversary was on the 31st of May. So just over 2 years, which the time has just gone super duper fast. So I am feasting and fasting at the moment. I joined the Steak and Butter Gang and I'm following their program. And so that's what I've been talking about for the last few weeks. And so it's time for my weekly update. But before I start talking about that, I want to let you know that I am thinking about creating a community for people who are eating a carnivore or highly meat-based diet, in particular for those of us who are having problems and for who our journey on carnivore isn't quite going the way we might have expected. So if that is something that you might be interested in, so a place where we can chat and, help each other out and give each other ideas of, ways to actually manage the things that are going on in our bodies. If that sounds like you, go to my website. So I'll put the link down below this video. It's also on the little ticker thing along the bottom here. So meetmydiet.com/community-feedback. And there's a form there that you can fill out. Just pop in your name and your email address, any suggestions, and then I can let you know if and when I decide to launch that group, because I want to make sure that I've got enough people who are interested before I actually go ahead and create that. And if I don't get enough people right now, then I will put it on the back burner for a while, but it is something that I want to do. So if it's something that you like the idea of, head on over to my website and complete that form, and I will let you know once I know what's actually happening with that. So what's been happening with me over the last week? All right, so my weight is down a little bit from the prior week. I am down about another half a kilo. So I'm just about 3 kilos at this point. I think when I weighed myself a couple of days ago, it was I think I was down 2.9 total. So I'm on track for actually meeting my 10-kilo goal over 3 months, which I find quite amazing, because I was like, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do this because my weight loss has been so slow in the 2 years on carnivore. But yeah, so far, so good. So this week, what I was doing basically, so I'm kind of following their calendar in the Steak and Butter Gang. And I started part the way through level 2, though, basically, because I'd been in the I mentioned this in my prior videos, been in the Steak and Butter Gang before for a couple of months, couldn't follow their program because my gut health wouldn't let me. So I opted out, and here I am 2 years later, back in there again and giving it a go. And so I like the idea of the feasting and fasting. It makes sense to me. It is something that our ancestors basically would have done through necessity, just because food wasn't available all the time. And so it's something that our bodies are likely to be okay with, to recognize, to function well on, that sort of eating, because I think a big part of our problem these days is that we have so much access to food and we're just eating continually. The feasting and fasting, basically, the premise behind it is to make sure that you're fully nourished before you go into your fasts. So they do something called priming, where you're eating a lot of food, and that's to make sure that your body has got plenty of nutrition going into your fasts. And so it makes it easier to fast, and just allows your body to function in a better way. And then, of course, you're doing without food for a period of time, and then when you eat, you make sure you eat plenty again. And so your body isn't starving, it's not being malnourished or anything, you're getting plenty in there. But you have those fasting periods where your body can go into ketosis and be using your own body fat to get rid of it. So that's what I'm doing. And so the part of the calendar that I'm up to at the moment is basically alternate day fasting. So it's a 32 to 42 hour fast, and then 2 meals, and then a 32 to 42 hour fast, and then 2 meals. So I've been doing that, and I'd done, I think, about 3 of those in a row. So it was a bit of a roll. I had done a 48-hour fast prior. I think it was 48 hours and then 3 days eating, and then these kind of a roll of 3. It was supposed to be a roll of 4, I think. But I had my son and my daughter-in-law coming for dinner last night, and so I decided that I was going to eat yesterday when I probably on the calendar should have been fasting. But also, what I had found was that by the time Friday came, so I ended up doing a 45-hour fast on going through to Friday afternoon. And I think it was just a little bit all too much and too long. And so I kind of had the feeling on Friday that I should have eaten on Friday morning and made my fast shorter. But because what had happened was that I was having a bit of issue with diarrhea again. And I wasn't quite sure why. I'm still not quite sure why, whether it's just the fasting. So I've been listening to a few people talking about diarrhea and fasting. And so some people will get, apparently it's fairly common to get diarrhea when you break your fast. But also sometimes when people are fasting, they'll get diarrhea, and it's to do with microbiome die-off, or, gut healing and your body expelling whatever. So that could be the case, but I'm also wondering if I've been taking too much magnesium. So I had bought some magnesium glycinate and have been taking that at night time before I go to bed. And it seems to help me to sleep even deeper. I've been sleeping pretty well anyway, but it seems to help me sleep even deeper. And so I've been taking that for probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks, perhaps, and I've been taking about 1,000 milligrams. So it's a powder. 1,000 milligrams is only a quarter of a teaspoon, so it doesn't seem like very much. But 1,000 milligrams of magnesium is actually quite a bit. Now, magnesium glycinate is better for diarrhea. Like, it doesn't tend to cause diarrhea as much. But I think any magnesium, if you are taking too much internally, will via mouth, will potentially cause diarrhea. And so what seems to have been happening, when I first started taking it, I bought that and I bought some taurine at the same time. And I started taking them, hubby and I both started taking them around about the same time. And I started getting some diarrhea fairly quickly, and I thought that might have been the taurine, so I stopped it. And wasn't really diarrhea, but it was kind of loose bowel, and then hubby was still taking the taurine, and then he started having issues with loose bowel and diarrhea, which is really unusual for him. Like, it's not unusual for me, but it's unusual for him. And so we kind of thought it was the taurine, but he kept taking the taurine because he wasn't too worried about the loose bowel in the morning. And so he was still taking both, and I was just taking the magnesium. But then over this week with the fasting, it was just like the diarrhea was just kind of getting worse and worse, to the point on Friday, I think, just because I think, as I said, I possibly fasted too much for my body and too long, and I wasn't feeling too crash hot and had the diarrhea, and I was kind of back and forth to the toilet, which kind of messes with my head because I've had so much diarrhea over the years that it's kind of almost become this, I don't know, it's a trauma thing or whatever, but it just, when it kicks off and it starts being a problem, it just really bothers me. And so I was feeling pretty crap on Friday. And then before I broke my fast, I went and did some skipping and skipped kind of hard out and got myself really puffed, and then ate. And then I felt like crap. And I wasn't quite sure whether it was the skipping, whether it was the eggs that I ate, or too much fat, or what. My whole body, all left side of my body was sore, and I was just not feeling good. Felt like I wanted to go to sleep, and so so I think that I kind of just pushed it too hard. I pushed it too hard with the fasting, and then the skipping before I ate was a little bit too much. And so then I'd been looking into lots of info about the whole diarrhea thing, and kind of came to the conclusion maybe it's the magnesium glycinate. So I have stopped it, didn't have any last night, and I've been fine today. But then I hadn't fasted yesterday, so maybe that's why. And so the magnesium glycinate at the time that I bought that, and started taking it, I realized that I actually had magnesium spray in the drawers. Now, I used to always use magnesium spray before when we were in Australia, when we first came back to New Zealand. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And so when I kind of decided I wanted to start using magnesium again and started looking into it, I was like, magnesium spray. And the reason that I used to use the magnesium spray was because I was always worried about magnesium giving me diarrhea, because I already had diarrhea, so I didn't want to make it worse. So I've been using the magnesium spray as well. So I kind of figure I might go for a couple of nights with no magnesium glycinate, and then I'll try it again, but just at a smaller dose and see what happens. Because it was almost like it was a build up, and because at first it seemed fine, I think, but then I thought it was the taurine, so maybe it wasn't. I do too many things at one time, and it's a bit hard to kind of work out what's going on sometimes. But yeah, I will try it again. But in the meantime, I'm using the magnesium spray. And so the magnesium spray that I use is this one here. Ease is called. Oh, my camera's blurring it out. So it's called Ease, and this is the best magnesium spray I've ever used. Most magnesium sprays kind of leave a sticky feeling on your skin. This one doesn't. So I really like this one. Doesn't sting, and it doesn't make things sticky, or because with the other ones you put it on and you can feel it on your clothes when you put your clothes back on. And hubby said he doesn't like it because on his body here it makes it kind of feel like it's all kind of stuck and matted sort of, whereas this one doesn't do that. So I have a link to this magnesium spray underneath my videos, so if you want to go and check that out, I can highly recommend the Ease magnesium spray, because it's the best one that I've ever used. And it is this magnesium spray. I don't know about other ones, but this one is 22 milligrams of magnesium per spray. So, if you do 20 sprays, that's 480 milligrams, is that right? 480, something like that, milligrams of magnesium in 20 sprays. And so, you can do that once or twice a day, and you've got yourself a really good dose of magnesium, because the RDI is about 400 for women, for men, I think, and 300 for women, recommended daily allowance of magnesium. And so that's the recommended amount, but of course it probably pays to go quite a bit higher than that generally, especially if you're under stress and that sort of thing. So the magnesium spray I will continue using, because that doesn't cause any problems, obviously. And if you've got diarrhea issues, maybe the magnesium spray is just the better way to go. But I will try the magnesium glycinate again in the next couple of days, but just at a smaller dose. I might go down to maybe an eighth of a teaspoon, which would be about 500 milligrams, and see how that goes. So the magnesium, the gut health. What else has been going on? So at the moment, I was supposed to be fasting again today. I was going to fast again today, but I just decided, because of the way that I was feeling, that I'd give myself a couple of days. And that also brings me in alignment with the calendar in the Steak and Butter Gang. So it makes it easier for me to follow, because I had been kind of out of sync with it. And so if I do 2 or 3 days eating now, it puts me in sync with the calendar, and then it makes it easier for me to kind of know where I'm up to, because otherwise I look at it and I'm like, crap, where am I up to? So, because it's not on the right dates. So that's my plan, and just give myself some food for a few days, and then back into the fasting, probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, this week. And then once I'm back at that, then it's basically alternate day fasting again. So 32 to 42 hours, and then 2 meals in between. And that goes for a little while, I think, until kind of the second half of the month. And then I think there's some longer fasts after that. So I am on level 3 from this month. So the other thing that I was kind of thinking about, like with the diarrhea thing, is if I keep having trouble with diarrhea with the fasting, I'm considering maybe trying some psyllium husk, because I've seen that helps some people, and just breaking your fast with psyllium before you eat, and then that kind of helps to stop that. My kind of questions around that were, is that a good idea to be putting fibre in, when the whole idea of the carnivore diet, or part of the idea of the carnivore diet, is to get the fibre out? But it might just be something that I need to use for a little while until things kind of settle down more, because I am gradually getting there, but it's just it seems like every time I kind of change it up a bit, the diarrhea comes back, and then that messes with my head and my stress levels and my anxiety. So if I can find a way to manage that, that would be really cool. So if the psyllium can help with that, I might use that. The other question that I'd had was maybe I should reintroduce the SIBO yogurt, because things were quite good when I was having the SIBO yogurt, and that might help. I don't know, but I'll try the psyllium first if I do have problems, and because I just went and bought some yesterday, so I've got some there, and that might be a way of potentially managing it. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think there was anything else that I had written down here. So that's where I am at for this week. As I said, I'm down about another half a kilo or so, which I'm really happy with. And so almost a total of 3 kilos. I've got another 1.1 kilos, I think, and I will be under 90 kilos for the first time in about 8 years. So yeah, bring that on, and hopefully that'll be the case by the time I do another update video. So that's it for today. That's so if you've got any comments or questions, pop those down below. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and like and share with anyone you think might be interested. I thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again another day. Bye for now.